Welcome family, friends, faculty, school board, guests, and younger students to the graduation ceremony of the 2018 Canute graduating class. Thank you to the parents first off for raising us into the beautiful, or not so beautiful, human beings we are today. Thanks to the faculty members for putting this free education into all of our brains. Thanks friends for all the great non-forgettable memories that we will cherish forever. Lastly, I want to thank God for bringing us here tonight and for guiding us into our future. Class, it's been real, it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun.
Prayer. Bow your heads. Yeah. Father, we thank you for our time here together, for all the friends we've made, for all the days of laughter, and for all the knowledge we received at Canute High School. We thank you for all who have given their energy and skill so that we could graduate today. Our teachers, mentors, family, and loved ones. We thank you for them and give them all to you in prayer. We give them all to you in prayer. As this big chapter in our lives closes and a new one starts to begin, we pray ourselves like an open book. May we hold this memory in our hearts and continue on our adventure through you. In God's name we pray. Amen.
At this time, I'd like to call on honor student Emily Betta to deliver her salutatory address.
I would like to thank everyone that is here tonight to support our class. I would also like to thank all the faculty and staff for your contribution to get us where we are now. When I came to my first day of school as a little freshman, I found myself wondering, what is the high school experience? Little did I know that in those 4 short years, I would get much more than just an education. I would make many new friends and meet so many people. I would get crazy stories to tell my children in the future. Like the time that I came into senior English class to Merrick yelling, "Watch this," and stripping his pants off to reveal basketball shorts underneath. Or on homecoming night last year, when I went to do a cartwheel and realized last minute that Lauren was behind me and decided not to kick her in the face and instead tumbled down the court. Along with the endless memories, high school also includes numerous assignments. As I spent my nights working on my school assignments, I found a common theme. After conquering my seemingly endless trig homework last year, I realized all these problems gathered in my brain to get me ready for college algebra. Thank you, Miss Winnery. All those reading quizzes that Mr. Reynolds made me suffer through somehow stuck in my brain long enough to earn me this high school diploma. And thanks to Mr. Moran and Mrs. Thompson, I can read at least a 3rd grade level. But all the assignments and all the minutes that I spent on them orchestrated together to prepare me for college and the road ahead. My high school experience also included 4 years of service to the FFA. It was in this organization that I found my voice and discovered where I belong. I met some of my best friends through the FFA. Through the countless miles, I also found countless memories. And I will always owe Mr. Connor for that. My advice to the younger kids is to strive for excellence in everything you do. Act with compassion and conviction. And most importantly, be yourself. God made you this way for a reason, and each one of you brings something to this planet and this community. One thing I know for sure is that I'm going to miss this place that was my second home for 10 years. I'm going to miss Hannah's honesty, Lauren's goofiness, Sierra's compassion, and all of Bailey's sass. I love you guys. So what is the high school experience? The high school experience is what you make it. Because believe me, These years go by faster than Mr. Mertz can say, "Y'all better get to class." Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. At this time, I'd like to call on honor student Jillian Jo Schneeberger to deliver her co-valedictory address.
It is a huge honor to even be standing up here right now, but this would not be possible unless I had the many people in my life to help push me to this point. I think everyone up here on this stage right now can agree with me when I say we're all excited to be graduating high school. And that's a good thing. We should be. We have just completed the first major milestone in our lives. I also think I speak for everyone when I say that we're all a little bit scared. And that isn't a bad thing. Not everyone up here is going to college, I know that, but we are all starting our lives as adults. This is the time when we buckle up and start on our paths to pursue our dreams. Now, not everyone's dreams are the same, but we all have places we want to get in life. And if you want to go anywhere, you have to be willing to work for it, because in life, it's a get-what-you-give world. In life, you can't be scared to make mistakes. The lesson is that you can still make mistakes and be forgiven. You have to keep telling yourself that everything will turn out okay. Pick yourself up and get back to work. You might not have had straight A's in high school, and that's okay, as long as you are doing your best. The most important thing in anything you do is always trying your hardest, because even if you're trying your hardest and it's not as good as you hoped, you still have that sense of not letting yourself down. And if you're willing to put in your time and effort, you will eventually reach your goal. I would like to thank the school and the board for supporting our class and for helping us to all reach this moment. I especially want to thank my class for the lasting memories, laughs, and for making the last 12 years of my life fun. Now I would like to finish where I left off, freshman graduation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian. I'd like this time now to call on our other honor student, Lauren Shields, to deliver her co-valedictory address.
If you were at the ag banquet, you know that I wrote my speech 5 minutes before I had to give it. Tonight, I decided I would try a little harder, so I wrote it 2 hours ago. I didn't really know what to say, so I decided to settle on congratulations to every student up here. This may just seem to some of you like a silly piece of paper, and I know what you're thinking is, just give me this piece of paper so I can go home, I want cake. But in all seriousness, this right now is a huge accomplishment. Tonight, I would just like to say thank you to the people that have gotten me personally to this point in my life, where I will receive that single piece of paper that will set me up for my future. I would like to start with Mr. Mertz. Oh, Mr. Mertz, there's a lot that I could say about you, but I'm going to keep this short. You've seen me smile, you've seen me cry, but you helped me through it all, mostly. One day, I actually walked into his office, assumed the fetal position on the floor, and started crying. He handed me a tissue and looked at me like he was about to give me a piece of fatherly advice, and he said, "Carrie, take care of this," and he left. Next, Mr. Connor. You're my homie. You probably made the most impact in my life over the last 4 years that I've known you. You taught me how to be strong when I felt weak. You taught me to never give up and to always put 110% into everything that I do. You and Kathy were always just one phone call away, and you have become like second parents to me. I love you both. Mom and Dad, what do you say to the people that gave you everything, even when they had nothing? Mom, you helped build my faith in Christ, and for that, I will be eternally grateful. Dad, people say that you look scary, but you're really just the biggest teddy bear on the planet. You both have been my rock, anchoring me through life's roughest storms. Even now, as I stand upon this stage, about to move on to the newest chapter of my life, I know that there is nowhere I could go that you would not follow if I asked you. I love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, your baby I'll be. Bailey, when I first met you, I despised you. Now, 6 years later, you're one of my dearest friends. I love you, even though you once ran me over with a golf cart. Emily, you are not my friend. You are my sister. I was there for you when you tore your ACL. I told you you were a hypochondriac, and after 2 surgeries, you proved me wrong. Hannah, you were my best friend when I was 6, and with everyone here as my witness, you still are to this day. We fight like crazy, but there is no one I would rather have sleepovers with, even though you sleep with your eyes open. To the rest of my fellow classmates, we did it. Some of our parents have dreaded this day, while others thought it couldn't come soon enough. Some of you will go to college, others straight to work. But I know that no matter where your road may take you, you will go on to do amazing things. In closing, I would like to sing part of a song written by Samantha Landrum. Mom, if you aren't crying yet, I would grab your tissue. We're the people that you can be proud of, like your parents were when they raised you. We're gonna need you in our darkest hours and on our best days too. I'm sure we'll make mistakes, but let us learn our lessons. We're gonna cry, and when we do, as we keep getting older, we'll still need your shoulder. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Those was 3 very good commencement addresses, were they not? Very good. Okay, at this time I'd like to introduce our speaker for tonight, this evening. He was born and raised in Oklahoma, graduated from Alexys High School in 2006, and then on from Southwestern Oklahoma State University in 2010. I put him to work right out of student teaching, stole him from Elk City to teach high school English for us here at Canute Schools for 7 years, and then he decides to leave us and went to teach 8th grade English in Sayre, Oklahoma, and that's where he's at now, which at that time I wished him the best of luck, but I didn't mean it. He is truly honored, and I called him and the kids voted the day in class who they wanted to have speak at their graduation. I picked up my cell phone right then with the kids and called him up and asked him right then if he would speak at their graduation, and I honestly can't say, after I talked to him a little later, we joke about it, but he was excited to do it. and he hopes to impart one last bit of knowledge on these students as they begin their journey through the rest of their lives. Please make welcome Mr. Dan Moran.
Let me get these good speeches out of the way. You guys don't know. This is a musical group of kids right over here. We got impromptu singing. I mean, you couldn't have told Lauren that she couldn't sing. I think the only reason I could tell any of these kids anything is because I had the power of the state of Oklahoma behind me. And as far as Mr. Mertz calling, even to this day, you answer the phone. Because the repercussions for not doing so are great and tragic. Anyway, here we are again. It's 1 year later. I think I did this one last year. 1 year overall, 1 year older. I definitely am, especially teaching 8th grade all day. And 1 year wiser, hopefully. So the way these speeches usually get written is I start narrowing down what I want to speak about by about the first week of May, because at this point in my previous 7 years of teaching, I would have spent as many as the past 4 years with the students on this stage, and I would have watched each of them truly grow into his or her own person during their senior year of high school. I did not have the privilege of seeing you guys through this final year. I understand. It's my own fault. I know. I've heard. So this particular May, I was a bit lost when I first started trying to come up with a few enlightening thoughts with which to grace your ears this evening. First, I thought I might talk to you about the lives you'll lead when you leave these hallowed halls of your beloved alma mater. I thought to warn you about the big bad world out there that will be waiting to eat you alive. But as easy as it will be to falsify these sentiments, I cannot willingly embrace this farce. The simple fact is that in our small corner of the world, at least, the majority of the adult members of our human species tend to find some way to eke things out for themselves in the midst of all the chaos. And I feel supremely confident that all of you fine young people will turn out no differently. So then I thought I'd lighten up my message, and I'd speak on a more positive note about your futures beyond these walls. I thought to speak to you about the opportunities you have ahead of you. I'm turning this podium. The opportunities you have ahead of you: college, vocational training, the workforce, the military. You get the picture. Like a diverging highway from one of those inspirational posters or something. But then I figured that you all probably already have a pretty good idea of what you'll be doing when you're turned loose from this fine institution, whether you claim to actually possess this knowledge or not. I trust that your intuition is already pushing you in the direction of your interests and your abilities, and I encourage you not to be afraid to listen and take note of what your gut feelings are trying to communicate to you. Most of it, not all. My penultimate idea, that means the next to last idea, guys, was to say something motivational to you concerning your more specific aspirations in life. But after some consideration, I remembered that you guys are one of the most intrinsically motivated groups of students I've ever had the privilege to teach. And if this lot sets their mind to do something, it gets done. I saw evidence of this on Snapchat the other day. There was a break-in and some redecorating. I know you're fully aware that many of your dreams, these college diplomas, master's degrees, PhDs, professional certifications, business plans, it said all that stuff. They're not in the remotest sense light undertakings. I know you understand this, and you'll put your back into it and accomplish everything you want to. They can and likely will exact the hefty price of long hours and financial distress before they pay dividends, but like I said, I know in my heart that any one of you can overcome this adversity and that all of you will persevere in pursuing your goals. So now that I've spent all this time going over all that junk, I'm here to tell you that I decided not to talk about a dang bit of it. None. It has been so long since I've had a chance to talk to you guys about anything, and you know I like to talk. And since this may be one of the last times that I'll get to grace your precious ears with the dulcet tones of my sweet baritone instrument of a voice, I came to tell you one thing. The only thing that I think matters right now. You are each Mr. Moran's unique and special student. Just like all the rest of the students he's ever had. Looking at you, Matt. I know you're back. You too, Bob. And Cody. And the 100 others of you. I know what you're thinking. That jerk just placed my self-awareness on a plush Persian rug woven from intrinsic confidence just to yank it out from under. True as it may be that the image of such a stunt amuses me greatly, this metaphor misses my larger point. Let's unpack exactly what Mr. Moran is trying to say. First of all, it's undeniably true that you are all, in fact, completely unique and special. There is much controversy in academic psychology over whether or not I'm supposed to tell you that. But the scientific fact remains that there is no other person in this entire world like any one of you sitting on this stage. Through the miracles of biological science, which I will definitely not be discussing in too much detail, a special combination of each of your father's and mother's chromosomes have combined to make the only you that will ever be. Unless you're an identical twin. None of you have like a weird twin that's like locked in the attic or anything. So you're all unique. All of you. Your individualism is something you should truly embrace and cherish and celebrate each and every day of your wonderful life. And now that I've got you all hyped up on mushy-gushy good feelings, and we're putting out some pretty positive vibes into the universe, it's time to recognize that your uniqueness is, paradoxically, quite unremarkable. Though we human beings, everybody present here tonight, all around the globe, except for those identical twins, are all a sort of singularity of genetics. The fact remains that there are over 7 billion of these human singularities on one planet. Over 300 million of them live in this country alone. Okay, so maybe you're confused right now. Mr. Moran, you're thinking to yourself, first you're saying I'm like special. But then you're saying like a bajillion people are just as cool as me, and I don't know which half of your brain to believe, bro. I don't know. Confusing. Fair enough. I may be making my point about as clear as mud right now, but follow me down this rabbit hole. In order to smell what I'm stepping in, you're going to have to believe both halves of my brain simultaneously, my young friends. You see, your special brand of uniqueness is but a minute strand of nearly invisible silk in the interconnected web of humanity. But it is an important strand. Each of you are a friend, a brother, a sister, a daughter, a son. You mean something to somebody else, just like others mean so much to you. We are all interconnected in this way. All. I fancy myself to have been, at least I really, really hope I was to some degree, important to your education. Somehow. At the same time, teaching all of you is what I got out of bed for in the mornings for 4 years. It's why I woke up. When you were born, you brought indescribable joy into the world for the people who love you. And in return, you feel that same love being reciprocated, especially on evenings like this, when you've made so many of us in this auditorium so very proud. You see, it's not simply by existing that we distinguish ourselves, but by how we exist that we define our significance. You see, even though your roads in life seem to be diverging in this moment, you're all going off to do different things, be different people. Know that they do interconnect with all the other roads your friends and your family, your teachers and fellow students, human beings in general, are on at the same time. Because of this, you must ask yourself to live a life outside of simply your own well-being. Whatever it is you end up doing with yourselves when you leave this place, understand that finding the true importance in that endeavor will come when you realize how it serves others. There isn't any better peace of mind than that which comes from selflessness, not selfishness, selflessness. Human beings are quite adept at looking out for number one, but only the most special of them recognize the significance of numbers 2 through 7 billion. Here's a practical example. I know I'm getting highfalutin and philosophical and all that crap. Here's a practical example. Take a McDonald's fry cook. Yeah, McDonald's fry cook. To the unwise, this person's job may seem to have no real significance in the world. Human beings don't need French fries. I mean, they really don't need them, or they'll all end up looking like this. You need too many of them. It's the result. But sometimes, maybe when there's a sad, frustrated 5-year-old crying in the back seat of a car, or somebody who's had an awful experience at the post office, or a teacher whose students failed a test, those French fries bring a tiny amount of joy, of comfort, of peace of mind. Yes, we're still talking about French fries, not money or wealth or power or anything like that. French fries. And thank goodness there is somebody in that kitchen in McDonald's making French fries, shining little rays of golden hope into people's hard days. Now, I understand that many of you aspire to do something else with your mortal days besides standing over a boiling vat of oil and frying shoestring potatoes. Not a bad place to start, but maybe you'll be a doctor, or a lawyer, or a farmer, a rancher, a veterinarian, a tattoo artist, an animator, a graphic designer, a game developer, or maybe, if you're just crazy enough, a teacher. Most of you will probably get married and have kids and grandkids and all that stuff that Mr. Moran is avoiding like the plague. Don't worry, Mom's not here tonight, so I'm not breaking any hearts with that statement. No matter how your life ends up, where you end up, what you end up doing with that life, remember that only you can live it in your own special way. But also remember that we are all counting on you to take full advantage of the unique person that you've become, to contribute to the world at large, even in the tiniest of ways. Mr. Moran is very proud of all of you for whatever it might be that you aspire to. And you will always have his love and encouragement in pursuing your dreams. Thank you. The past 4 years that I spent with you are some of the best 4 years of my life. I love each and every one of you like family. Congratulations.
We can kind of understand why those guys probably asked him to come speak to him. The reference he was making regarding the redecorating was the day before yesterday. I did my daily run to the post office and to the bank, and upon my return, my secretary had conspired with these fine graduates, and they had redecorated my office with about 150 balloons and streamers like a spider's web and all that. So it took me about 45 minutes to clean it all up. But they thought I'd get real mad, but I proved them wrong. So anyway. Okay, thank you, Mr. Moran, for those inspiring words. We do appreciate you coming over and sharing with us. A couple of announcements before we present the class. First of all, our elementary awards assembly will be on Monday, the 21st of May at 8:30, beginning at 8:30 in the morning. Then they'll have their picnic in the afternoon. The high school awards assembly will be Monday at 1 o'clock. School will resume on August the 8th, 2018. We'll have a reception immediately following this in the cafeteria down the hallway. We've got plenty of cake and punch. We hope you all come for that. And then one final thing I just want to point out before we begin to present the class. It's very evident what the students that are the honor students are wearing, the stoles and the honor cords and so forth. There's also some students up here that are wearing green honor cords, and those we started this several years ago. We're one of the few schools around that allow them to do this. For what reason, I don't understand why they wouldn't. It's the Oklahoma Blood Institute. These students that are donning the green honor cords are faithful donors throughout their high school years, and they've donated enough units, at least 6 units in their high school year to be able to attain that green honor cord. So bear that in mind as they come across the stage as well and become a blood donor. Mr. Moran, Mrs. Walters, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Honke, Mr. Parrish, parents, teachers, friends, it is with great pride, even though they redecorated my office, that I introduce to you the 2018 graduating class of Canute High School. Anna Grace Kupka. Hannah Nicole Beck. Crystal Gail Thompson. Marion Leanne Johnston. Trinity Elizabeth Davis. Sierra Shaylin Hall. Honor student, Jillian Joe Snaberger. Bailey Mache Frederick. Good job, Bailey. Honor student, Emily Ann Betta. Honor student, Lauren Elizabeth Shields. Caitlin Marie Rogers. Alexys Danielle Goodwin. Tristan Katie Lynn Ray. Christopher Robert McNatt. Holden Cole Mertz. Jillian Taylor Snowder. Zachary Davis Heath. Nicholas Dwayne Jennings. Cody Allen Yeager. He thought I was going to say good riddance. Not just yet. Riley Shane Hoffman. That's the most I've seen Riley smile in a long time. Christian Scott Sims. Good job, Christian. Connor Blake Savage. Hunter Earl Hughes. And finally, the ringleader to the conspiracy in my office, Merrick Browning Moore.
Boy, you gonna know it all. You'll think you're 10 feet tall. Run like you're bulletproof. Total car too. Boy, you're gonna hate this town. Wish you could burn it down. That fire in your eyes, 20 counties wide. But boy, you're gonna love 17. Boy, you'll do some stupid things. You gonna drive a kiss and throw a punch and grow up way too fast. You gonna drop the ball, hit the wall and break some hearts like glass. I know you will, 'cause you're a part of me and a part of you who will always be. Yeah, boy, you gonna be so stubborn. You get that from your mother. I already see it now. You weren't built for backing down. Boy, there'll be a small town night, and you'll fall for her sky blue eyes. When she's in your hands, you'll think you're a man and not a boy. She'll make you lose your mind. Boy, she'll be every reason why. You gonna try to kiss and throw a punch and grow up way too fast. You gonna drop the ball, hit the wall and break some hearts like glass. I know you will. You're a part of me and a part of you will always be. My boy. It's 3 a.m. and I'd do anything to get you back to sleep. And that face will be the same one in the rear view the day I watch you leave. But boy, gonna come back home. You're gonna settle down. But you won't feel the way I'm feeling now. Till you have a boy, he's gonna know it all. He'll think he's 10 feet tall. Run like he's bulletproof and total a car too. much I love you, though you think you already know. I remember I thought you looked like an angel wrapped in pink, so soft and warm. You've had me wrapped around your finger since the day you were born. Beautiful baby from the outside in, chasing dreams, but always know the road that'll lead you home again. Come on, take on this whole world, but to me you know you'll always be my little girl. When you were in trouble, that crooked little smile milled my heart of stone. Now look at you, I've turned around and you've almost grown. Sometimes you're asleep, I whisper I love you in the moonlight at your door. As I walk away, I hear you say, Daddy, love you more. Beautiful baby from the outside in, chase your dreams, but always know the road that'll lead you home again. Go on, take on this whole world, but to me, you know you'll always be my little girl. Someday some boy will come and ask me for your hand, but I won't say yes to him unless I know he's the half that makes you whole. He has a poet's soul and the heart of a man's man. I know he'll say that he's in love, but between you and me, he won't be good enough. Beautiful baby from the outside in, chase your dreams, but always know the road that'll lead you home again. Go on, take on this whole world, but to me, you know you'll always be my little girl. Couple cane poles sitting down by the creek. Lines in the water, watching those bobbers, seeing that red sun sink. Mama's on the porch yelling supper's hot. Y'all come and get it. We got 5 more minutes. At 16 it was 12:03, standing at her front door. Katie's dad said midnight, but we needed just a little more. Yellow light flipping on and off, interrupting that goodnight kissing.
So please rise. Congratulations. My thought for you is you reap what you sow. You get out of this life what you put into it. My advice is you go give it your best and go conquer the world. By the power invested in me by the Oklahoma State Department of Education and the Duke Board of Education, I now pronounce you 2018 graduates of Canute High School. Amen.